So I got another subscriber question asking about the Bema and about the time necessary to complete the judgment seat of Christ, and how I have said very boldly, very plainly, that there will not be a gap between the rapture and the start of the 70th week. Maybe a matter of hours, like same day. There's not a gap in days, I guess, is what I mean. And the precedent that we have is given in two places. There is a verse and there is a sister verse. In the mouth of two or three witnesses is every word established. So we have Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Cool, so we have to be removed, because if it comes upon the whole earth, then you have to be removed from it to be kept from it. The sister passage to that is 2 Peter 2:9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. The preceding verses in 2 Peter 2, verse 9, give two examples, Noah and Lot. Well, Noah is a picture of the end times remnant of Israel that will be on earth to go through, preserved through, to come out the other side and to replenish the earth, just as Noah did through the flood. He went through the judgment, was spared by God through the judgment, and they got off of the ark and they replenished the earth. They repopulated the earth. And that is what Israel, the remnant, will do with their natural bodies in the kingdom. So Noah has always been a type and shadow of Israel, to go through, to come out the other side, and to replenish the earth. Lot is the example that it gives of the church. Lot was removed from the city, and then judgment came immediately after he met safety. The angels wanted to get Lot and his family out of Sodom because they could not judge it until he was gone. And literally, as soon as he was gone, judgment came. Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed by fire and brimstone. So Lot, immediately, once he was safe, judgment came. That is the type and shadow. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, Lot, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. So there's no gap. There's no biblical precedent for a gap. And it should be more heartwarming to us to understand that because there wouldn't be a gap, then we would very closely know the timing if we know when the start of the 70th week is, which is Nisan 10 of a year coming up. Because weeks of years begin and end on Nisan 10, as were established in Leviticus 25. When you shall come into your land, the land shall declare a Sabbath. 6 years thou shalt sow thy field and prune thy vineyard and gather in the fruit thereof. And the 7th year is a year of rest. Number 7 Sabbaths of years, a space of 49 years, and in the 50th year, hallow it and proclaim Jubilee. And then you count that ad infinitum until you reach the end. But there, according to Daniel, are 70. So from the beginning, Nisan 10 of, say, 1406 BC, 70 Jubilee years is Nisan 10, 2025. Very easy. Once you understand the prophecy and where it comes from and how it factors in, it's really easy to figure all this out. So it should be more heartwarming for us to know there wouldn't be a gap. And if we know the start of the 70th week, then hey, there's your date. Cool. The problem is that people just don't want to wait that long. And so they try to give reasons why maybe there could be a gap, or maybe the rapture will happen sooner. And one of those things is saying that the judgment seat of Christ needs to be done between the rapture and the start of the 70th week. And gosh, there's going to be a lot of people to go through it, so it's going to take some time. No. When it says that we must all stand before the judgment seat of Christ to give an account of what we have done in these bodies, be it good or bad. Could you conceivably give an account of in a body that you did bad things in that you no longer possess? So if you're glorified and God's wiped tears from your eyes, meaning you have no memory of the things that have gone on since you were glorified, any of the sin nature is gone, you're not going to have memory of that stuff. How could you give an account of what you did in a body you don't have with memories you also don't have? The judgment seat of Christ is part and parcel with the process of being caught up to meet Jesus face to face. It says, we know not what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And that comes from 1 John 3. In 1 Corinthians 13, it says, we see through a glass darkly. I thought I knew it. 1 Corinthians 13, it says, this is the thorn in the flesh, where I get off on tangents. We're going to talk about that in 2 Corinthians 12. Paul talks about being kept humble because he was given a thorn in the flesh. So this is my thorn in the flesh, where I can't remember what I want to remember, but I know where to go. Lest I get too proud, I'm not. I wouldn't anyway, but this is my thorn in the flesh, is not remembering what I want to remember when I want to remember it. 1 Corinthians 13. For we know in part, right now in our mortal corruptible bodies, we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. This is talking about pre-glorification and post-glorification. For now we see through a glass darkly. But then, face to face, rapture, being caught up to meet Jesus in the air. Now I know in part, but then I shall know, even as also I am known. So essentially you have a return to the age of innocence is really what that's about. When you have Adam and Eve in the garden in the age of innocence, when they were perfect before they fell, that's essentially what we are returning to, is an age of innocence. You're not going to have a knowledge of good and evil. That's why we're in heaven, to bypass the events of those years, and why Satan's bound in the bottomless pit for the duration of the millennial kingdom, so he can't deceive anyone. There would be no way that the Bema is going to be dragged out for a period of years, because it happens, the process of glorification happens when we are caught up and meet Jesus face to face. We no longer will possess the bodies that we have now. We will not have a sin nature. We will not have any memories of what we did in the bodies that we no longer possess, because we have no sin nature. The wiping away of tears is wiping away of memories, and the wiping away of sorrow associated with things that you did that were wrong. So, logically speaking, when you look at this from the perspective of when we meet Jesus at the rapture face to face, we're changed in the moment, in the twinkling of an eye, and then we're taken to the throne room in glorified bodies. You could conceivably, no way possibly, give an account of what you did in a body you no longer possess with memories you no longer have. The Bema happens at the moment that we are changed. What stands through the fire, which is the process of glorification, will be for reward. What does not stand through the fire, which is works not done in faith, will be burned and be for loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by God. So the verse that really stands out in this conversation is 2 Corinthians 3. With open face beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, we shall be changed into the same image, from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord. The rapture, the Bema, the process of glorification, is the redemption of the purchased possession, is the marriage. In the ancient Jewish wedding ceremony, they're all like that. And then it's done. It is not going to be a process. It's going to be in the moment of the twinkling of an eye. You were, now you are, and now we're done. And then we're going to the heavenly throne room to celebrate not being on earth for 7 years. It's really just that simple. So I understand the intention behind that, and it's trying to work it so that we could potentially be raptured before the start of the 70th week, a period of time up to and including years. Sorry, but no. Lot, Revelation 3:10, 2 Peter 2:9, and Lot is the example given. When you go back to Genesis 19 and you read the story of Lot, you will know that literally immediately after he was safe, in our case, removed from the earth, it will come upon the whole world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Because as soon as Lot was removed from the city gates, as soon as he cleared safety, literally in that moment, fire and brimstone rained down. He is the example that we are given. That should tell us also what Peter says in 2 Peter 3, that the Lord is long-suffering, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. It would be completely arbitrary for him to remove us a period of time before he would have to in order to keep his promise. The rapture is the keeping of a promise to be spared from wrath. So we would not need to be removed prior to the point where wrath starts. There is an appointed time for that, the 70th week, Nisan 10 of, say, 2025 to Nisan 10 of 2032. It is written into Daniel from Leviticus. So if there is a structured timing, you literally have no reason at all. If the only thing that is doing is keeping you from that time period, then we can be here up into just before that time period starts. And because God's long suffering, giving everyone as much time as possible, you know that we're not going to be removed too early, because that would be arbitrary. Like literally, there would be no reason for that. So he's going to give us as much time, because the only promise that we were given is that we would be spared from that time period. So the last minute, that's when it'll be. And if the 70th week starts on Nisan 10, 2025, as I do believe it will, then that really tells you everything you need to know about when the rapture will be. So I go back to the previous question that I got. Am I excited about the prospect of a 2023 rapture? No, because it's probably 2025. And when it gets closer to time, ask me that again, because right now the answer to that would be a resounding no. I am working, I am going to school, I am writing, I am planning vacations, I am living life. No, I am not thinking about an event that is 2+ years away. And that's the reason why I studied all of this to begin with, is because I wanted to know so that I could stop thinking about it and letting it control my thoughts. Spend some time on a forum. Lots of people still on that forum and other forums, and every single day for hours a day they're replaying the what ifs and all of these, like, could be this, could be that, could be that. No, I wanted an answer, I found an answer, so now I can stop wondering and just go live my life. But that is an answer to the question about the Bema, and if it needs to be a period of time beforehand and or over a period of time completed. No. Guys, have any questions, let me know.